All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.
What's up, everybody? We are going to break down all the news. Got a lot happening, which is kind of, it's good. We've been waiting for 2.5 weeks essentially for them to hire an offensive coordinator, which they did, and did some more news, got some more stuff today. So it's very interesting. Sean Mannion is the new offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles, the quarterback coach of the Green Bay Packers, 11-year veteran of the NFL, backup quarterback at Oregon State. He, was with a lot of coaches, but the biggest thing is, yes, he's only been a coach for a couple of years. He's been in the NFL for 11. So it's not like, he's coming somewhat out of nowhere. He's, been in NFL offenses. He's a backup quarterback. So I'm confident in that. I'm liking the more and more I'm reading, and the more and more that I'm liking. He got to be the offensive coordinator of the East-West Shrine Bowl, one of the offensive coordinators. So that was good to see as well. But yeah, we got a lot to break down here. We're going to talk about the Mannion hire. We're going to talk about Josh Grizzard, the former offensive coordinator with Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is the new pass game coordinator, which was Kevin Patullo's old job. So my more and more that he will not be returning is what I'm thinking and seeing there. Going to talk a little bit about Mannion and Grizzard's. They're kind of who they've coached under, kind of what their schematics could be, some kind of stuff there. The Fangio scare, which you've been seeing the last day or two all over the internet. It's your fault. And then the salary cap news. We got some numbers, more definite numbers than we had, so we kind of know what's going to be with that. So, but to start all off, we're going to talk Sean Mannion. What is your thoughts, Matt, on this hire?
I'm with you, man. I everything I hear and read, even leading up to the hire, we had that conversation. I think, honestly, like a minute before they hired him, how we, the more we read, the more we saw, the more we heard about him and who he is as a person, who he is as a coach, the mind that he has, not only as a coach, but that he had as a player as well. We were excited about that. It's an exciting prospect. It's an outside of the box hire. Right, because it almost goes against what they were saying in the beginning of what they were looking for in an experienced play caller. But I think it's a high risk, high reward type of move, right? Like there's risk that it's not going to pan out, and then you have another season like 2023 and 2025 with a first time play caller. But they also have a lot more experience than a guy like a Brian Johnson or KP. Is like he's at least been in the league, right? I know Brian Johnson was for a little bit, but I don't know. He's been under an amazing stable of coaches, both as a player and a coach. He's got LaFleur, he's got McVay, he's got Shanahan. He's got experience with almost everyone. And we've had a ton of experience, and I think offensive coordinators generally have a ton of experience when they're a backup quarterback in the league, especially someone who can be in the league. Like, being a backup quarterback is one thing. Being a backup quarterback in the league for 11 years means that you have the ability to maintain your athletic ability, but also process information quickly across different schemes, different teams, different cities, acclimate quickly, right? Adjust on the fly. One of the things I've heard about him is that there were schemes that he was in that were notoriously difficult for quarterbacks to pick up, and he picked it up quickly. And his whole thing as a backup quarterback that was kind of a journeyman throughout the league is he tries to make his offense, or he wants his offense to be easily digestible for the quarterback. Right? Like, he wants the quarterback to easily identify where he's going to go with the ball pre-snap, where he's going to go with the ball post-snap within a matter of seconds. Like, he's going to give the quarterback layups, or at least that's what he's anticipating doing. Again, we don't know because he's never called plays, but that's encouraging. And he's young. He's 33, which is great. Like, he's going to bring some youth. He's going to bring some energy. Matt LaFleur. I don't know did you see that story about Matt LaFleur and how he hired him?
I did not, actually.
So he was, I think it was Anthony DeBona that put this out, and I apologize if it wasn't, but I want to give you props if it was. LaFleur apparently was, a fan of his, and he was going to go interview with like the Bears or a division rival. And I might be butchering this story. I'm sorry. But he gave LaFleur his pitch on like how he was going to present himself as a coach. And he blew LaFleur away so much that he was like, I got to hire this guy. And never let him leave the building. So it's just, he obviously blew them away too, the Eagles front office. And to be honest with you, I trust Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman with my life on hiring coaches, because so far they've been pretty spot on when they get the opportunity to do so. So long-winded answer, I'm cautiously optimistic about Sean Mannion.
So the one thing that I've seen, as we see Eagles hiring Sean Mannion, looking at who he's coached under, which is LaFleur, who he played under, which was, McVay, and, you had the, Kubiak, you had all these tree, these guys from the Shanahan tree.
Yeah.
The funny thing to me would be today, the Baltimore Ravens hired Declan Doyle, 29-year-old Declan Doyle, as their offensive coordinator to run their offense.
Yeah.
And like, it's funny because you have some people say, oh, he turned it down. He said he was going to stay with the Bears. And the thing is, you don't know if the Eagles offered, and that's the one thing, is you don't know who they offered what to. They may not have offered anybody the position. They said, we'll get back to, like, there's a whole lot of that happens. But the other thing that I kept seeing was, oh, Declan Doyle, you're hyping this guy up who's never called plays in his life. But then Mannion, he never called plays. But the way that I see it here is, yes, he was coaching for a little bit longer, tight ends coach, under Sean Payton, everything along the lines of that. But also you have to remember, Sean Mannion played 11 years in the NFL. Backup quarterback. With the backup quarterback spends a lot of time, those meeting rooms, holding the clipboard, doing all that stuff, looking at the film. There's a lot of that goes on in 11 years under all these guys. And it was funny because Nick Foles was talking about Mannion and how when he was a rookie, when he was traded from the Eagles to the Rams and they drafted Mannion late in the late rounds. And as a rookie, he was impressed by him, almost like a photographic type of memory, and, grasp, and just stuff like that you hear is, great to see. It's awesome that he got exposure at the East-West Shrine, getting, himself, acclimated there, calling some plays, doing some stuff. I know it's very like low key because of certain things you have to do, but listen, he's able to do that. That's fine.
Also, when you think about it, and sorry to interrupt, but like, when you're the coach of an all-star team in that particular scenario, like you're coaching young men like you're going to have in the league. You're coaching players that have never played together before. Mm-hmm. You're coaching players on a brand new scheme, and you have to get them up and ready to go within a week. And I feel like he had them looking pretty good as an offensive coordinator. And I think he made the job easier on the quarterbacks by cutting the field in half and putting them on the move. He did a lot of play action bootlegs, which is super encouraging. I think that's something that we've been begging for Jalen for a number of years. And when he does do it, he's highly successful. So, and to your point, as a backup quarterback, when you think about it, like your job as a backup quarterback is not only to get ready in case the starter goes down, but you're another coach.
Yeah.
Right. These guys hold the clipboard, to your point. They're in the coach's headset, hearing the call, giving feedback on the sideline. And as a journeyman over 11 years, you're learning new systems. Like you have to relay that. You have to relay it to guys on the field with the second team, with the scout team, with whoever. You have to relay it to the starters when you get in there. I mean, like you have to deal with different people and different personalities as a backup quarterback. So, like, I think that lends itself well to offensive coordinators. Like, I've heard people talk about Josh McCown in a similar way. Kellen Moore obviously was highly successful in that way. The Harbaughs, right, were both quarterbacks. So, backup quarterbacks mainly. So I think there's something to that. I think there's something to being a backup quarterback and that translating to being a good coach because of all the things you have to deal with and
and listen,
adjustments you have to make.
The thing is, you have no idea. You have no idea. He could be a great play caller. You just don't know. He's never done it. You have no idea. Sean McVay didn't call plays when he became the head coach. Everyone's talking Nathan Shieldhouse. He was offensive coordinator, I believe, I think it was Iowa State 1 year, a number of years ago.
Yeah.
But he's very just because you didn't call plays doesn't mean you don't know how to do it. So and we're going to see. He's going to be put to the test. But I think the biggest thing is, and if you look at Josh Grizzard was the new passing game coordinator, the former Bucs OC has been named that. So him with Mannion bring here a new scheme. And, I posted something on X today with Grizzard talking about motion, talking about mismatch and like spacing and all this kind of stuff. And it's just like, it's so refreshing. And, I want to bring up something. So on X, Denise Selman 33 is the handle, does great with like metrics and a number of things.
We've quoted him a couple times on here. Yeah.
Yeah. Does so much stuff, whether it's graphs, whether it's, really anything related to the Eagles, does such a great job. Was kind of going over like the offensive tendency metrics for the Packers, the Bucs, and the Eagles from last year.
Interesting. Yeah.
And one thing that was interesting was shotgun percentage. Eagles were 6th in the NFL at 71%. The league average is 61%. Okay. So Green Bay was 57% and the Bucs were 61%. So they were 16th and 22nd. Eagles were 6th.
Love that.
The pistol, Eagles were 6th at 7%. The league average is 5%. Packers were 6%. Bucs were 4%. Not really much off of that. Under center, Eagles were 27th at 22%. 34% is the average. And Green Bay was at 37%, which was 12th, and Tampa was at 35%, which was 14th.
Okay.
Another one I like this, is pass percentage when under center. Eagles were 31st at 23%. 31% is the league average.
Mm-hmm.
The Bucs were 25%, so they were 28th, not too much off of the Eagles.
Yeah.
Green Bay was 38%, which was 3rd.
Okay.
In the NFL.
Interesting.
Now
let me ask you a question. So under center was a revelation this year, right, for this offense, and it made a big difference. Obviously, it trickled off at the end of the year there, but it was a big revelation because it allowed us to get their ground game going. It allowed us to do play action and some of those things. Do you think that is do you think that's something that we need to do moving forward? Is that something that Jalen Hurts thrives in and should be in that? It should be under center at like more than he has been in his career? Or do you think that was just kind of you think that was just 2025? You think that's an exception?
I have a theory on it.
Yeah.
I saw somebody post it. I believe it was John Barchard posted it, which had me thinking. And then we'll get back to the rest of these. There's, I think, 3 or 4 more I wanted to bring out to you. But the theory here was, as you had heard, which in the last couple of days, Jeff Stoutland was removed as the run game coordinator. Yep. I don't know. I'm not sure when during the season he was removed of that title. But later in the year, the Eagles.
I know what you're talking about, how after week 6, we started going under center more, and they think that that's the pinpoint of when he was removed.
When you look at Stoutland, doesn't like to do more under center, doesn't like to do – there's things that he didn't want to do as the run game coordinator. So to me, that kind of like – if he's not the run game coordinator, and apparently he's supposed to return, but not as the run game coordinator. I don't know how that's all going to play because I feel like there's going to be a couple more changes to the staff.
Yeah. Well, we still need a run game coordinator if he's not
Yeah,
Excuse me.
if he's
I'm
not,
talking to him.
still need a run game coordinator. Again, we'll see what goes on. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens. Hopefully he stays as the offensive line coach. But to me, that got me thinking a little bit.
I just don't. I feel like under center is great from like a play action perspective, and if you're going to go ground and pound, like if you're going to go heavy, like we were with Fred Johnson, but like.
But my thing is the passing under center, pass percentage when under center should be utilized more.
I agree.
I agree.
But I feel
to me that's what it more is.
But I feel like in the ground game, if you're going under center, it limits the ability of Jalen Hurts as a runner. It kind of takes him out of that unless you're doing some sort of option play where he has like a bootleg, a naked boot, or something where he has the ability to either run it or pass it. It takes his like read out of it, right? Like you can't run a read option off of that for the most part. So I just, it's interesting. I wonder if that's going to be like, we are putting a lot of emphasis on it when looking at these OCs and the the run game coordinator, but I wonder how much of that is truly something we should be looking at moving forward, or if that was just a way to get by the limitations that we have from an injury perspective on the offensive line. You know what I mean? Like I
see what you're saying there.
Yeah.
I still think, using it here and there, but using it as passing the ball more than just doing it to run the ball.
100% agree. I'm interested.
That
I would still lean on shotgun, but that's just me. And we can get into this more in the offseason. I don't want to derail us. I just thought that was interesting as I was thinking about it.
So a couple of things here. Middle of the field percentage, Eagles were 32nd in the NFL at 39%. 48% is the league average. The Packers were at 45%, which was 26th, and the Bucs were at 51%, which was 8th. Screen percentage, Eagles were 30th at 6%. League average is 11%.
I'm surprised
the Packers were 9%, which was 18th, and the Bucs were 13%, which was 6th.
I love that.
One of the best ones.
Is that all screens or just wide receiver or just running back?
It just says screen percentage.
Screen. Okay, interesting.
Just trying to see here.
I feel like we're missing that tight end screen, running back screen game. I feel like we could be so good at that with this O-line.
Motion percentage. It was, let me see, what's parentheses, NGS. I'm trying to think of what. Oh, the data. Gotcha. Motion percentage. So the Eagles were 24th at 30%. 36% was the league average. Okay. The Packers were at 38%, which was 11th, and the Bucs were 40%, which was 8th.
Hell yeah. I love that.
Last one here. Well, actually two more. Crosser percentage. The league average is 11%. Eagles were at 8%, which was 30th. Green Bay, 10%, which was 21st, and the Bucs were 12%, which was 8th.
I love that. These are all things that we've been begging for months.
Yeah.
Motion, crossers, middle of the field, screen game, and the run. It's under center. Like it's just, that's got to be refreshing for folks that were complaining about KP and banging their head against the wall because it's the same shit over and over again.
And I think the best one here is the hitch percentage. 15% is the league average. Eagles were 24%, which was first, which essentially is you don't want to be first at that. Green Bay was 13%, which was 27th. And the Bucs were 15%, which was 16th.
Love it.
So they were essentially around right at league average.
Yeah.
The Eagles were way above it. So just a number of things which is fun to kind of see where, Green Bay's offense is more Mike LaFleur, Matt LaFleur.
You would assume that he's going to have concepts from that offense.
Oh,
right?
No doubt, especially coaching under him for 2 years.
Yeah.
And then of course Grizzard, who was with McDaniel, Liam Cohen, and then got the offensive coordinator position. Yeah. I believe he was pass game coordinator when Liam Cohen was the OC, and then he moved to OC last year. Yeah. And again, like I know they had their issues in Tampa. They also had a ton of injuries on offensive line. The receivers injured all the time. but again, brings those concepts and what I like to see. I want to see them. And I think one of the biggest things here is, and I know Jalen's going to be willing, calling Mannion, talking with him in the building, whatever it is. I'm not sure they can be in the building. I'm not sure how that all works. I guess he can.
Why couldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess he can because he's under contract, so he can.
Yeah.
But I mean, like getting to know the playbook and doing that stuff, and so I'm very excited to see because we've been asking for, like some differences, and I saw someone post or someone talk about the Shanahan tree and the Rick Scangarello mention about it. Like to me, I believe he was the quarterback's coach back when Doug. I think it was one of Doug's last years, actually. Maybe it was 2019. It was either 2019 or 2020.
Yeah.
But like that's one guy. Like this is the OC and the pass game coordinator. And again, let's see if they hire a run game coordinator, if that's what they're going to do. If Stoutland's no longer the run game coordinator, like we've been seeing, if they hire somebody, I know there's been some mention, Frank Smith, the guy who used to be the OC with Miami and he interviewed with the Eagles. If he winds up coming over, again, that's another McDaniel, Shanahan tree type of. So it's going to be interesting how the rest of this staff kind of fills up. Who else they bring in if they just retain who they have, but I expect them to bring some more pieces, some more guys in. So it's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who stays too, right? Like the Singleton, does he stay? Does does hopefully more heads out of here? No offense if you're listening. Does Stout stay? Does he get pissed if he's not the run game coordinator? Is he okay with being the O-line coach? It'll be interesting. We should have some more information next week, what his staff looks like. And, and now we're getting closer. Now that this is settled, we're getting closer to draft and free agency. So now you got to look at offensive players for the Bucs and Green Bay that might become free agents, right?
Yeah.
Like Mike Evans, who's a free agent, who is presumably good buddies with Grizzard.
Well, apparently looks like they are going to be splitting ways in terms of him and the Buccaneers.
That's what I heard.
So again, interesting aspect there. So it'll be very, keep your eyes open. And we got a lot of content to come in these next couple of weeks here. You have the Senior Bowl this weekend, so we'll have some with that next week as well. Kind of, some prospect talk. Because you had the East-West Shrine game, you had the American Bowl, you had a whole bunch of different bowl games, college all-star games. Which is fun to see. Put your eyes on the players.
Is the Senior Bowl this weekend?
I believe it's this weekend.
Yeah, it's Saturday.
So,
right?
So we'll have that. Of course, we have the Fangio scare, which we won't go too much into it. I know it's kind of like a year-by-year thing with him, which is kind of concerning because, this could be his last year. He's 67. It could be his last season, which means – you could see a little bit of an overhaul next year if that is the case. But, we'll see. We'll see where everything goes with that. But I'm glad he's back. I'm glad he's going to be back.
They need to start talking about who his successor is, right? Because, presumably that was Christian Parker.
Yeah.
So now you're thinking, is it Clint Hurt? Is it a Bobby King? Is it someone external? Who knows? So it'll be interesting to see who they start grooming, who gets a little bit more responsibility this year.
Yeah.
Obviously Casper got the nod to take over Christian Parker's role, so maybe he's in the mix. I will say that for anybody who's listening, who saw my tweet this week about Fangio, I got a text this week from the same guy who told me that CJ was getting traded, that
Lovato was coming back, which he was right, went to the Chargers.
Mekhi Becton would not be back. So far he's been 1,000, and
you got to ask him about Mekhi Becton if he gets cut by the Chargers. Would he return?
From everything I've heard from this guy, and we can save this for another show or offline, but it doesn't.
You want to
sound
save it
like,
for offline? You can.
It doesn't sound like he would be welcome back. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. Well, I don't know that he wouldn't be welcome back. I just don't know that there's interest in bringing him back. And we can that's another combo. But he did say some spooky shit about Fangio and about him retiring, which got me pretty scared. But then Anthony Gargano, again, I tweeted again today. Anthony Gargano confirmed the same conversation that I got, the same text that I got, saying that he was seriously considering it, that the team was extremely spooked, that they were extremely worried. Thank God he's coming back, but there was truth there. So I think we got to keep an eye on this. It sounds like this is a yearly thing, like Jason Kelce was for a couple of years, but it's still something that we got to keep our ears to the ground on over the next, calendar year.
Yeah. No, it's going to be something. It's a year by year type of thing. So, we'll see where that all lays, but they got him back this year, which is fine, which is good. We also got salary cap news. The NFL, Tom Pelissero first posted about the salary cap. So it's going to be anywhere between, I believe, 301 and 305 as the salary cap, which basically is between 22 and 25, $26 million more than it was last year.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I know over the cap kind of figured in at 303, I believe, which put the Eagles, I think they have the Eagles at like 18, 19.
Yeah. I've seen anywhere from 10 to 20.
Now again, that's going to fluctuate here because as of right now, they're signing guys who, when the draft class comes in, you have lower cap numbers. So it's, you have the top 51 that count. So a lot of maneuvering. There's a lot of things the Eagles and they did fix the Dallas Goedert thing that you and I had mentioned multiple times, which made no sense because he's got a void. So if he does happen to extend, it eats $1 million on the Eagles cap. So it's fixed now. But again, there's some things that
cap is at 18.4 in cap space as of right now.
And that's again,
go ahead.
You can free up $9 million with Jordan Davis extension. You can cut Michael Carter and save up $8 million. Now, again, as we've mentioned, the cap is fiction, essentially. You can manipulate as you want. It's cash that matters most. If you have the cash to be able to use. And again, that's why the Eagles do what they do with the void years is because of this situation. You have essentially another $22 million that's coming into play. So
you can actually free up money by cutting Tyler Steen, which is interesting.
Do they keep Dean? Again, that's something that we'll get into. I don't think so. To me, I just don't think they spend the money there. But again, we'll get into that, the stay or go free agency. We'll do our mock drafts. I'm going to have my Eagles mock 1.0 that we can go over. Maybe not next show. Maybe next show, since we're talking Senior Bowl. Maybe we'll do that, along with the other news that we get. So got a lot of stuff going on as we'll do probably about, I would say maybe trying to think how many mocks to do. So that mock draft will be for February. We'll do one for February, one for March, one for April, maybe do three or four.
I did 6 today.
Well, yes. Believe me, I know how many you do.
Yeah.
But
sorry about that.
It's all right. I like to see all the different names, how the different scenarios pop out. Like again, I talk to you. I go on. I don't go as many sites as you. You're like a mock draft site whore. But
it's pretty bad.
It's okay though.
Yeah.
But no, I do my mock drafts. It's fun. It's fun to see like the different scenarios, who falls where, who could potentially be where the Eagles are picking.
Well, and then how you attack different positions and how that trickles down to the later rounds. Like, do you go edge at front? And you got to think about like who are you prioritizing in that scenario in free agency?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, am I signing Blankenship and Jalen Phillips in my head? Am I re-signing Dallas Goedert? Do I have more flexibility to get a tight end later in the there's a lot that goes in your brain. It's a fun experiment for anybody who hasn't gotten into it.
So Whitehurst Mike has a quick question. What's first issue would we address in the draft?
First round, or are we talking like just in general, like throughout the whole draft?
I would probably say just in general. Like,
yeah,
what are we going to make sure that we get essentially?
Well, the way that I'm thinking about it from a draft perspective is you have a cheap defense and an expensive offense.
Yeah.
Very soon, you're going to have an expensive defense, and you're going to need to get cheaper on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what we've seen. Howie likes to kind of overreact and balance the sheet, so to speak, which is what he did with getting Quinion, with getting Dean, with getting Nolan, with getting Carter, with getting, Shahad Campbell. You can see he put a lot of premium resources. I mean, I just named
Kuba. Like
that's what I'm saying. I just named like 6 or 7 dudes that he's gotten in the first 2 rounds in the last couple of years. So I'm anticipating him to go hard at offense up front and getting depth on the defense in the back end. So I would assume that you're going to see, a wide receiver with AJ getting up there and Jahad Dotson, likely heading to free agency. You're going to see offensive line. I would assume they're going to look for a tackle that has some guard versatility that can slide in either for Steen or at least compete with Steen right away, and then slide in for Lane Johnson if he decides to hang it up. I would assume that they're going to go heavy at tight end.
Yeah.
If not 2, then definitely 1 in the draft and then 1 in maybe UDFA, like a Nowakowski. What is his Nakowski or whatever his name is for Indiana?
Kalinowski? Isn't it Kalinowski?
I forget his name. The kid from Indiana, the
I was going to say the Indiana boy.
He reminds me of Juszczyk. But to answer your question, I think they go heavy in offense in the draft, and then obviously they're not gonna go only offense. They'll fill in maybe some developmental.
Riley Nowakowski.
I knew it was an N. I could see them also targeting a CB2. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not in the first round or second round unless someone.
It's gonna also be who falls where. So if
and that's the thing, yeah.
That's major, but no, you kind of hit it on the head. I was going to say, I think they're going to attack the offensive line to get definitely get an offensive lineman. I know they drafted Miles Hinton and Cam Williams last year as kind of some type of project,
Those
younger
were
guys
to the dartboard. Yeah.
And, that's also what Willie Lampkin was when they claimed him too. So trying to see
and Kendall,
which ones may stick.
Yeah.
Drew Kendall. Yeah, exactly. But tight end, that to me, you need to at least come away with 1 tight end in the draft. You need to have at least one guy, and I would definitely grab another guy, UDFA. And then, of course, if you don't re-sign Goddard, maybe getting 1 to 2 low-end veteran tight ends. Because they're going to need to address that position. But definitely getting a young guy. And I'm not saying, I don't want to draft a tight end in the 5th or 6th round. I want somebody within the first 3 rounds.
I mean, really, it's Sadiq, and then it's everyone else, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else is very similar tier, I think.
Yeah.
You have the Stowers, the Claires, the I'm trying to think of who else would be in that, Endries, and some of those guys that are probably in the 3rd round range. And then you've got later guys like Kozoil for Utah, and the Nowakowski kid from Indiana that are later round guys.
Listen,
but it's Sadiq is. You might as well consider him a wide receiver the way you can use him. He's very similar. To me, he's a more athletic, more capable blocker version of Harold Fannin. That's my comp for him. He's undersized.
I'd even be fine with Khalil Dinkins from Penn State as an undrafted guy as well.
I mean, well, that's the thing is I think you're most likely looking at a guy in the first 3 rounds at tight end. First 4 rounds, maybe to be conservative. And then you're definitely going to get 1, maybe 2 UDFAs. They're going to go, they're going to attack that heavy in all 3 phases here, from UDFA to draft to free agency, maybe even a trade. Who knows? But they're barren there at the position as of right now. The only guy they have under contract is Cameron Latu. So they're going to have to attack that one way or the other.
No doubt. And we'll be here for it. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Love that question, by the way.
Yeah, it was a great question. Love that kind of stuff. Make us think a little bit too, as we're doing this, but appreciate everyone tuning in. Make sure that you're subscribing. Make sure that you're following all the channels, or all the pages, channels, whatever. Hit the link tree. You see everything. We're going to be back next week. Most likely will be some more news.
Woo!
Going to talk a little Senior Bowl, makeover mock draft 1.0 as well. So some fun there, kind of, seeing what's in store, because as we get into February here, you have the Senior Bowl happening this weekend. You have the Combine coming up. Free agency is the beginning of March. So it's about a little over a month away. So
Crazy.
It's coming fast, and it's going to be coming fast.
And next Friday, you got the Philly special, 30 for 30.
Yes, 30 for 30 Philly special, which is really cool. I did have this I'd like to see happen.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if you've seen on Amazon Prime the Bucks documentary. You may not have watched it, but I mean, like, they have a documentary about their history, essentially.
Okay.
Then AMC has a documentary that I don't think it was just released, called Rise of the 49ers. I would like to see something with the Eagles, as of kind of like Jeffrey Lurie taking over after Norman Braden sold it to him, and then kind of the buildup of this era of Eagles football.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think that would be a pretty cool documentary to see.
I mean, we went from wearing bags on our head in the 70s to, 2 Super Bowls in the last 7 years. So that's it. But I just think that kind of success. Yeah.
Like kind of how Jeffrey Lurie has built this team, not even wanting to buy this team because he wanted the Patriots and was beaten out by Robert Kraft for that. Came to the Eagles, bought the team, and then, made them into a powerhouse after getting Andy Reid, after struggling a little, making the playoffs twice, then struggling a little bit, getting Andy, starting that era, and then keep going on into now.
And coming right in and completely shifting the brand, right?
Yeah.
Like he shifted to the midnight green away from the Kelly green, which was not well received, if I recall. It'd
be cool to see all that kind of stuff.
And
then again, maybe they are putting something into production. Who knows? But I think they're
probably producing it.
Cool. Yeah. Hey, if you want to make money and have eyes on it, you put a little documentary like that for the Eagles. It'll be watched. Believe me.
I'll watch it for sure.
Yes, I agree. But as we always do, we always end it with a very happy and joyful "Go Birds!"
Go Birds!
This is Matt Ware. Hey, for all the Eagle content you need, go follow All About the Birds. They do a damn thing. Check them out.
Hey, Eagles fans, I may be in Tampa, but I know where to find the best Eagles content out there. Check out my friends at All About the Birds.
Philadelphia, what's up? This your boy Freddie Mitchell, a.k.a. Fred X. It's all about the bird.
All birds all the time. All birds all the time.
All About the Birds provides you with weekly analysis, game recaps, informative interviews, and it's all birds all the time.